1st Battalion, the Royal Welsh, one of the British Army most experienced and most decorated armoured infantry units, have recently completed the arduous exercise Talon Dawn in Germany, the mission-ready exercise that validates them to deploy as the battle group on the upcoming Operation Cabri 10. Operation Cabri is the name of the United Kingdom operational deployment to Estonia and Poland, where British troops are leading a multinational battle group as part of the enhanced forward presence. United Kingdom armed forces have a leading role in NATO enhanced forward presence in the Baltic states, in order to enhance Euro-Atlantic security, reassure our allies and deter our adversaries. The enhanced forward presence in the Baltic states is a deployment of robust, multinational, combat-ready forces to Estonia and Poland, on a rotational basis. Lieutenant Colonel Rue Streatfield, commanding officer 1st Battalion, the Royal Welsh, reflects on exercise Talon Dawn and the mood within his personnel as they take on their next role in Estonia. I think there's a lot of excitement and probably a little bit of trepidation. They are a young battle group. I would say probably about 80 to 90% weren't even born at the time of the end of the Cold War, so a lot don't understand the context. But they get the sense of excitement and the sense of importance of what they are doing. The Welsh warriors, some of them experiencing an overseas exercise for the first time, took to the vast Senelager training area in Germany, where they have taken on the role of battle group for Operation Cabri 10. The exercise involved a mix of simulation, live firing in day and night, field training exercises involving armor, infantry, artillery and engineers. Delay and hold serials were also carried out to trade space for time, with a range of supporting capabilities fixed together to develop the level of competencies, capabilities and integration required. After several weeks in Germany perfecting their skills and taking part in exercise Gothic Dragon at unit level late in 2021, Lieutenant Colonel Streatfield believes his personnel are well prepared for their next challenge in the Baltic nation. We take great pride in the fact that we've conducted a lot of training, not just here in Germany but really over the last year, so this is the culmination of our training and we're ready. That's what we do as an army. We've always wanted to be more useful more of the time, so being able to deploy at pace is an ultimate demonstration of that. They are a very tight-knit family, and for those who are a bit nervous or there is a bit of trepidation about what's happening, there's a lot of experience out there, so they are looking after each other very well. Lieutenant Colonel Streatfield is keen to point out that the battle group forms part of a much wider alliance. We take our responsibility to NATO very seriously. A lot of good people are trying to do some contingency planning at the moment to respond to whatever we've been asked to do. We'll have our Danish company attached to us, but there will also be air assets, maritime assets and other armies, other nations represented as part of a large exercise to test the readiness. And does he feel that carries extra responsibility on his shoulders during this tense time in Eastern Europe? It is a big responsibility, but I feel very well supported by a good team, and at every level people are looking out for each other and there's much confidence in the battle group. The Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas, said, "Thank you the United Kingdom and Mr. Boris Johnson, for leading this NATO multinational battle group here at the Tapa base, in Estonia, and for doing so for the last 5 years. And also for doubling your contribution over the last few weeks, with more British troops coming to Estonia. His really makes a huge difference, and demonstrates NATO's solidarity. We stand together in this time of crisis. The people of Ukraine are fighting bravely against a brutal and unprovoked Russian invasion. We utterly condemn the Kremlin's war. Allies are imposing severe costs on Russia through sanctions. We are increasing NATO presence across the alliance, to deter and to defend, and we are stepping up our support to help Ukraine defend itself." Kaja Kallas added, "NATO allies are sending Ukraine anti-tank weapons, air defense missiles, and ammunition. Allies are also providing millions of euros worth of financial help and humanitarian aid. I commend Estonia and the United Kingdom for the assistance you are providing to Ukraine. Over the last weeks, in response to Russia's attack on Ukraine, we have increased our defensive presence in the air, on land, and at sea. With over 100 jets at high alert operating from 30 different locations, and over 120 ships from the Baltic Sea to the Mediterranean. The United Kingdom Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, said, "Just right on your point about what is happening in Kharkiv. It is absolutely sickening, and if anything, it reminds me, if you remember the shedding of Sarajevo Market, the shedding of innocent people in Bosnia. It has that feel to me over an atrocity committed deliberately against a civilian center." And I think that, coming to your second point, within the UN structures it is very difficult to move people without a vote, and clearly where you have a majority, where you have a veto in the Security Council, you cannot. There is a paradox there, we cannot vote to change the rules without the agreement of the Russians. But what is happening is that, I think that the great middle of the UN congregation, if you like, is starting to realize quite how horrific this is. With every day that goes by, as they watch the heroism of the Ukrainian resistance and they see what is happening in Ukraine, and they see episodes like the shedding, like the missile in Kharkiv and the destruction of civilian populations. I think people's stomachs are being turned by what is happening, and they are seeing that it is necessary to stand up against Russian aggression, to support the Ukrainians and to endorse our strategy, which is that President Putin must not be allowed to succeed, he must fail in Ukraine.